let's say he won. You're not going to have any friends on either side of the aisle.
Great.
That's fine.
Get that veto pen.
And I love gridlock,
right.
So this all works for me.
Free Talk Live.
In Louisville. Hello, Emily.
Hi.
Hey there.
I do not think Howard Schultz can be elected for two different reasons. One, I thought the way that he handled the problem of the two men that came into one of the Starbucks, I think it was in Philadelphia, and the manager asked them if they would like to, buy something, and they didn't want to buy anything. And I thought that was not handled very well, shutting down the entire company and telling people about race as if nobody has a clue about race.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't stand behind his manager, and so then they finally said, oh, no, anybody that wants to can come into our places and just, get warmed up. Well, then they ended up having to shut down quite a few of them in Philadelphia because the drug addicts were coming in, using the bathroom, making a mess,
right.
Homeless people. It was just for someone who grew up in the projects, he doesn't seem to have recognized a lot of the other people from the projects.
Well, look, nobody's perfect, and maybe he's made some mistakes in running his business, but you can't deny he's been incredibly successful at it. I mean, having made billions of dollars. What does all that have to do with him not being able to win the presidency?
Well, because to get anything done, you have to be able to have people who will fight on your behalf in both the House and the Senate. And the people in the House and the Senate are long-term people. They plan on coming back year after year after year.
That's
the president
not
will
a good
only be
thing.
Around. Well, but
I won't
it's
argue
the reality.
that it's a reality. Yeah,
it's reality. It's reality. And the president is limited to only 8 years. So the people are not going to spread very far from their party in order to support something that he might come up with.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, the Senate Majority Leader, who is from my state, Mitch McConnell, and Nancy Pelosi, they decide who gets to do what in their respective parts of the government.
Sure.
They make committee assignments.
Yep.
And
that's a big deal. That's a really big deal.
Howard Schultz is obviously a pretty smart guy, but I think part of his goal is to avoid what will be raucous political debates, just like they were when they had 1 million Republicans running last time. And this time it's going to be on the Democratic side. And I understand why the Democrats are so afraid, but I don't think he's going to get anybody from the Republican side.
Well,
who cares?
I think there's two different questions. I think a lot of the things that you brought up are on point in terms of how easy or how difficult it would be for Howard Schultz to govern. That would be a real challenge because he's not going to go on in. Let's say he won. You're not going to have any friends on either side of the aisle.
Great.
That's fine.
Get that veto pen.
And I love gridlock,
right.
So this all works for me.
That's a success. If he can get in the presidency, then that's going to stop a lot of crap from happening.
On the question of electability, the jury's still out for me. I have no idea. We're so far out. We have no idea what's going to happen between now and then. But I do know this. A few points in my life, I've seen third-party candidates or independents come amazingly close to really break it. I mean, Ross Perot ended up hitting, 19% vote?
After he dropped out of the race.
Yeah. And if there weren't sort of those crazy moments, a lot of them were ginned up by Republicans and Democrats. Mm-hmm. If Howard Schultz can manage some of those, I think your average person is looking for an average person, somebody who is common sense, makes some sense, and isn't just balls to the wall nuts
if
like
he can connect
these people are.
If he can connect with enough people, in theory, he could win.
Right.
If enough people take him seriously and like what it is that he's saying, if they're able to hear it, if the media gives him attention, if he gets into the debates, which would be amazing, And it has been a while since we've had an independent billionaire candidate in the race, so that may change whether or not he can reach the ridiculously arbitrarily high level that the debates require.
Right. Polling numbers and things like that.
And it's not an easy thing to do to run as an independent, because then you've got to have essentially you have to have crews in every state trying to qualify you for ballot access. That's why a lot of people like John McAfee will throw their hat into the ring with the Libertarians, because the Libertarians already kind of have that down. They know how to get ballot access in all 50 states. It's not easy, but they've done it most years over the last few decades. So I don't know, Emily, I'm just going to respectfully disagree with you here. I think that if he takes this seriously and spends enough money, he has a chance of winning, and I don't think the average voter is going to be concerned whether the Democrats or Republicans like him in Washington, D.C.
I think Republicans and Democrats are terrified of somebody just talking. I've not heard a lot of just crazy Republican and Democrat type rhetoric come out of Howard Schultz's mouth. What I have heard is you can't afford that. We have a $21 trillion debt. I've been waiting for anybody to say that for a long time, and I have no idea who I would support, if anyone.
Emily, any other thoughts? Go ahead.
The thing that nobody is talking about is the end of the estate tax. And, when they talk about, we're going to tax the people at the tippy top,
right?
90%, that's not going to happen. But at the same time, the ending the estate tax is going to cause the country, I think it's unbelievable. And, I understand how it happened, because there was Republican House, Republican Senate, and Republican billionaire, and they decided to get rid of the estate tax. And the Republicans have been working on it for a very, very, very long time.
Is that a bad thing, to have your money taxed when you die?
Well, it makes things a little bit more, you can't take it with you. But
if you get it taxed, then that means that you can't give it all to the people that you love.
Right.
Well, there's usually, I'm not talking about taking all of it away. But
it's a tax. Usually they don't take 100% in a tax. You're talking about stealing money from dead people and taking it out of the hands of their family.
Well, if you want to consider taxes stealing, then okay,
yes. Yeah, it's actually it's more than stealing, it's extortion. Thank you for the call tonight, Emily. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. And if you don't think taxes are stealing, you aren't being honest with yourself. Now, I understand why you wouldn't want to be honest with yourself, because no good person, no one who considers themselves a good person, would want to be aligned with people who are committing theft,
right,
or people who are committing extortion. Would have wanted to have advocated for that.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.